Okay, so there you have it. We've ran out 5 goal winners here in Linz. Really surreal atmosphere, I'm not going to lie to you. It's almost like you just, don't know, going down the park to watch your mates play. That's what it felt like. There were a few United chants coming from the media section. I don't know who those were from. Some people saying they heard them on TV and that. No comment. But listen, it was a good game in terms of Manchester United, how we played, what we did. We were clinical, and 5 goals. You know, Odin Ighalo with the pick of the goals. I want to talk about Ighalo because I hold my hands up. I mean, a lot of Manchester United fans, when he first come, it was like, oh, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Where has this move come from? Why is Ighalo coming? Do you know what I mean? But obviously, he signs, you back him, you support your players, and he's tearing up trees. And yes, LASK, the opposition is not that great, but I think what we have to say with Ighalo is that he's going from strength to strength, and the goals that he's scoring, poachers finishes, proper strikers goals, but today's goal, he was juggling the ball and just banging it top bins. I'm more saying like, no, what's his weaker foot accuracy here? Is it the same as Mason's? Because he's just banging them with his left foot for fun. So he got us off the mark. A good goal for Daniel James today. There's been so much talk about him and his final product, his end product, his decision making, getting into good positions but can't quite find that bit of quality. And he did that today. Yeah, you could argue that the right back maybe didn't make it easy for him. Made it easy for him, but he still had to take him on. He still had to cut inside and then obviously beat the keeper. And it was a shot that was right in the corner. So you can't really say fairer than that. I thought Fred was good today in midfield. I thought he buzzed about the place in a fairly comfortable game. It's hard to put our players today in the highest regard. You know what I mean, in terms of tearing up trees, because look, the opposition wasn't great, but they can only play what they're in front of. And I thought Fred buzzed around well with McTominay today, and his assist for Mata just showed that, you know, he's got an eye for a forward pass as well, which we have been seeing from him. Maybe not in direct terms of assists. You know, you look at his game against Manchester City. He was all over the park, and he always makes that pass that is 2 passes away from the actual shot, or 2 passes away from the actual cross or the goal. And that's what I like about Fred. And today, I think he got the credit he deserves in terms of making that assist, you know, for Mata, because he deserves that, and it shows that he's got an eye for a pass and he's always trying to look forward. Great pass from him. Mason Greenwood as well on the score sheet off the bench, fantastic goal. Look, I think once we got the second and third goals today, the floodgates were always going to open. It was one of those games, and we just grew in confidence. But Mason comes off the bench and scores a good goal off both posts as well. There was no doubt in my mind he was going to score that. And then Andreas as well. That was a weird goal. I don't know if the keeper was thinking about having an early shower or just wanted to get the tie over or whatever, but he should have probably saved that. But Andreas getting in the act as well. So all in all, you can't, there's nothing, obviously nothing to complain about. We've won 5-0. A routine day at the office. I thought at the back, what I did find interesting today was I really wanted to look for those talkers. You know, I know Bruno's been infection since he's come here. We know Harry Maguire is the captain, he's the leader. And those two in particular, I could hear. Obviously, we could hear from the stands. Bruno was constantly on at people, and it's good that you can actually hear it, you know. Harry Maguire, you know, marshalling the back four, you know, shouting my ball. Yes, they're basics in football and they should be being done, but they were just emphasised today because obviously there was no one in the ground. But I thought we'd done a professional job today, really professional job. It could have been a banana skin. Yes, their 12th man was kind of taken away, so I did speak about that in the preview in terms of LASK, you know. It's unfortunate that, you know, they couldn't have the game in front of their fans, so they maybe weren't going to be at their sparkling best. But we had to go and do a professional job, and the team that Solskjaer picked as the starting team just showed you how serious he was taking this game. Because for me, like I said, it was easy to forget that there was actually a game going on today, and a meaningful game. You know, so it's the knockout stages of the Europa League, last 16. So you couldn't come here and mess about. There's loads of talk about when the next game's going to be, or lack of games, or games getting, you know, cancelled and stuff. But as we hear so far, the sporting events in England will continue. I think Boris Johnson has said that, and said they may look to postpone in the future, but they haven't done so far. So the Tottenham game certainly looks like it's going to go ahead. And we came through with no real major injuries. I know Eric Bailly went down injured, holding sort of his hip area. We're always worried about that, but in terms of any other injuries, I don't think there was anything really to worry about. So we've come through unscathed and won the game 5-0. The tie's over. You know, Ollie can put out whatever team he wants in the return leg, and hopefully that game does go on. I mean, it all depends on what happens at Tuesday with UEFA when they get hold of it to talk about what's going to happen. I know that Man City and Real Madrid has been postponed, so maybe it might have a knock-on effect. I mean, there's players at Leicester, I think, showing symptoms of the coronavirus. So it's all up in the air. We don't know. All we can do is react to the authorities. Good to get into the presser again, asking Solskjaer about, he was already asked about Ighalo, maybe Ighalo could stay permanently. And you know what? Who's to say at the end of the season, the way he's going, and he's done well in such a short space of time, who's to say that they don't give him a year's contract? Who would be against that right now with the way he's playing? You can't begrudge him that. No matter what we've made of Ighalo beforehand, we can only judge him on what he's done since he's come, and he's been fantastic. There's nobody can deny that, and he's a real fan favourite, wants to play for the club, he's really working hard, and the goals are coming as well. He had another chance where he hit the post as well, probably should have scored that. So who's to say that he isn't going to stay beyond the 3 or 4 months he was supposed to? But I asked Solskjaer about Pogba. There's been a lot of talk about Solskjaer doing Pogba doing a U-turn, maybe bumping up his wages to 400k a week, and maybe he will stay. And it was interesting because I thought it's a big chance kind of asking about the Pogba situation, because you might get that's the same old Paul's our player and da-da. But Solskjaer said you would expect him to be here. He did actually say that. He said you can expect Paul to be here after the summer, which a lot of us think that Pogba's going to leave. A lot of us think that it's the right time for Pogba to leave. But Solskjaer didn't. I think if that was going to happen, maybe he would have kind of shied away from it to say, look, Paul's a great player. He just wants to play football and he's happy when he's playing football. But he went as far as to say to me that you can expect to see Pogba here in the summer, after the summer. So make of that what you will, but I think that would have been an easy get out for Solskjaer, just to say that Paul's looking forward to coming back. But he didn't. He went one step further and kind of said that we can expect to see Paul here next season. So what's your thoughts on that? I mean, it looks like he was always going to be out the door, and he still may well be. You know how things change. He said that Sanchez was going to stay and score goals, and then he just went. So at the end of the day, I'm not saying take that as gospel, but it was a very interesting point for him to make when he didn't really have to. Do you know what I mean? And we roll on Tottenham, man. Like I said, at the moment that game is on. He made a lot of changes today, so you sort of got an idea of what that team's going to be like. Bruno, we saw him going onto the bus at the end of the game. Little bit of a limp. He kind of went down just before he got taken off, so hopefully that's just a matter of a minor knock. But he did say, obviously, about Martial. He's not sure, which is a concern. Obviously colliding with the post against Manchester City, his knee is still an issue. He said Wan-Bissaka will be fit, which is obviously a big plus. But if Martial's not fit, Ighalo, I mean, who's gonna begrudge Ighalo getting a big start away to Spurs? We all believe in him. He's tearing up trees at the moment. Why not start him? You know what I mean? We all want to see Tony fit and firing. He's playing well. He's in a great goal scoring run. But if he's not fit, I don't think there's any one who's going to be too concerned in terms of Ighalo coming into the fold, or even Mason. We'll have to see. So look, it's been a fantastic trip here. In the end, we've had loads to contend with. From the engine, what was it? The engine caught on fire, Josh. We had to do a U-turn, and then when I got to the airport, imagine they said, "Sorry, we're gonna have to stop you here because your jacket has tested positive for explosives." So I'm looking at the guy and I'm like, "What is going on? What do you mean it's tested positive for explosives?" So armed police have come. Obviously, there was no explosive found, and I went on my way. It was just the machine being sensitive. So we had to stay in Frankfurt an extra night. Then we get here. Then we're worrying: is the game even going to be called off? Is it on? Is it off? Then the game's on, and then behind closed doors. We've had a lot to contend with, but once again, we will be here at every game. That's just what we do, and we're going to keep that promise. And even down to the questions that we're asking in the press conferences, it's on behalf of you guys, on behalf of all of us. We're all fans of the club, and that's what means a lot to us. So super proud to be able to come and do this, because I was even saying to some of the press officers before the game when we were pitch side talking to them, and it's a big kudos to them. They're saying that the club's changing, the club's evolving, and they want to look at people like ourselves and include us. We're a big part of the club. We've got a huge fan base ourselves. The viewership smashes. We've got our own community, which is, I think Manchester United are endorsing that. And I want to say a big thank you to all the guys at Manchester United that are allowing us to come in and have that platform, and to you guys for the well wishes and the kindness of what you lot are saying, of the response of what we're doing. Yeah, we're doing it for you guys, and I think it's just a big evolution of what we've been doing. The mainstream media, I think you see the banter that we have sometimes on Twitter and some of the messages that come out from them, but I don't think it's that they don't like us. I just think they just don't understand us, and that's what we're slowly starting to break down. I think maybe in 5 years it might be normal for fan channels to be heard in press conferences and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I think the main thing, like, we're here is for fans. You know, we're not trying to give up. I don't want people to think that we're becoming mainstream and now they're just in the press conferences, don't care about the fans. Absolutely not. We're not trying to dilute our content. We're trying to extend on it. We're trying to build on it. And we're trying to just cover every single aspect, but the way we do it. And as you can see in the press conferences, I'm not shy of asking relative good questions and showing that we can articulate ourselves in the right way. And we've got just as much to be there, just as much right to be there as any other traditional journalist and traditional way of media. So yeah, thanks to the guys for having us in there. Hopefully, the return leg's not played behind closed doors. Hopefully it isn't. That'd be a shame if it is. But hopefully roll on the next leg. 5-0, pretty much through. Look, barring an absolute miracle, we're through to the next round. But it's all to do with what UEFA decide, because if UEFA decide that the competition is going to be no more, then we might not even finish it, and which would be a shame, because we've got a really good chance of winning this. You're not sure what's going to happen in the Premier League, how long those games are going to take. Are those games going to be behind closed doors? The top 4 running is going to be tight. FA Cup, we've got that next week, I think, against Norwich. That's going to be tough. Is that going to be behind closed doors? Is it going to be scrapped all together? I know England cancelled their game at Wembley, so a semi-final at Wembley probably not on the cards in the next however many weeks. So it's all up in the air. But what we have done is taking care of our business here today in Linz. I'm proud, Josh is proud, everyone on the channel's proud. We're over the moon with you lot's responses. Drop your views in the comments in the boxes below. Let me know who your man of the match was. My man of the match, I'm gonna give it to Ighalo. Keep scoring, and like I said, doing a few keep uppies and then banging it in the top left hand corner with your weaker foot is not bad, regardless of who you're playing against. So great goal from him. So I'll give it to Ighalo. But Fred was equally as good today. I thought he was good. Bruno linked up well and did bits and pieces. So yeah, for me, man of the match, Ighalo. We are out of here. Let's hope for a safe flight back, man. I know a lot of you were saying, why did you go? Don't go. Don't do it. It's behind closed doors. You know, be safe and stuff. But we did it, and we came out the other side. I'm out of here. Peace. Big thank you to you guys for watching the latest of our videos. And if you want to check out more, make sure you do that just to the right of me. We are the biggest and best Manchester United channel in the world. Make sure you check us out on all of the socials as well. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. The socials are along the bottom. Peace.